Okay, so first question, a bit of a music guy. Do you have, what would you find on your playlist for a game?
I'm a bit of a country fan, so religiously it's White Horse by Chris Stapleton's usually an easy play.
Yep.
I've been getting around Jumpman by Drake, and I always love Blue Notes by Meek Mill as well.
Yeah, nice.
So, yeah.
A bit of a fun one this time. If you got $1 million put in your bank account, you only got 1 hour to spend it. Probably not too hard these days, but where are you going?
Yeah, look, I have a wedding coming up, so I'd probably want to get some of those deposits paid for. I do, I'm a uni student as well, so I'd probably HECS in my house would quickly come out as well.
Yep.
My fiance wants a not quiet wedding, but a few less people, and I'm a little bit more audacious. So hopefully that maybe convince her to get a few more wedding guests, and maybe
a bit extra cash there.
She loves the Teskey brothers as well, so I love the Teskey brothers as well. So maybe pay for some guest appearance at the wedding or something like that. I don't know, maybe a few gifts here and there, and I don't know. It's a hard one. But about an hour, that's pretty tough.
Yeah, no, it is. But I think this day and age, it's pretty easy to spend it that quickly.
Absolutely, it would go. Yeah, I'd probably spend $2 million just then. To be fair.
Yeah. No, that's good. All right, so when you're not on the court, how do you like to spend your time?
Like I said, I'm a uni student. I work full time, coach a bit of basketball. I have a dog, a little golden retriever named Gigi. So outside of all that, if I do have free time and have a chance to sit down, I do like playing golf. But I live a pretty hectic life, so generally I'm on the go, and I'm just sitting down and recovering, really.
Yeah. If 3 people for dinner, dead or alive, who are you picking?
Oh, this is a tough one. I feel like every time I get asked it, I change my mind. But at the moment, I had a bit of a think about it. I obviously love hoops, so I'd have a basketballer in there. So Magic Johnson, I reckon, would be the most interesting NBA player to sit down and talk to. I think he'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
I always like to mix it up and think about like an actor, celebrity, or something like that. So I'm loving Timothée Chalamet at the moment. Watching the playoffs and getting around him, and he just seems like a vibe. I reckon he'd be a good bloke to have around. And you got to laugh. So I think a comedian. I think Shane Gillis is like my favourite comedian at the moment. He's hilarious. So I think those 3 probably take the cake.
Yeah,
probably a terrible answer, but I probably haven't thought about many things. But I'd be happy with that.
Basketball wasn't in the picture. What do you think you'd be doing instead?
I wasn't playing basketball for a few years out of high school, and I actually worked in hospitality, as a lot of young people do, and I actually really loved coffee and making coffee, and so I reckon probably somewhere in the coffee scene, maybe, or hospitality scene.
Yep.
That would be really cool. I haven't given it too much thought, but I reckon that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Final question: what do you do to make sure you reach your pinnacle before the game?
I think the most important thing for me, especially with the week leading up to a game, is my head is just like all over the place. I'm thinking about the video. I think about trainings. I'm obviously working full time. So before a game, or even in the off season, if I'm like trying to just like really make sure I'm getting the best out of myself, is I actually like to switch off for a bit and just make sure I separate myself from the game. So off season, I always take a little bit of time away from the game. I look after my body, but just keep the mind fresh. And same for a game. I think the best thing about a Saturday compared to like weekday trainings and things like that is you get like a couple of hours in the afternoon where you can just switch off, chuck the footy on, and I find that's what really separates game day to the rest of basketball for me, is like that,
that moment,
that time to just separate and sit and relax, I think.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yep.
Awesome. Right, well, thanks a lot for the time and
No
the questions, and we'll see you around.